Howdy. Hello. Welcome to episode 14 of Cringe Crew Music Podcast, or episode 4 if you're watching on YouTube. The last two episodes I still need to upload. I'll get to that eventually. Solomon says he's going to be streaming Night Trap on the first of the month. Very cool. I will pop into that if I have time. I'm vaguely aware of what that game is. Anyway, albums for the week. Neutral Milk Hotels, In the Aeroplane, Over the Sea. Glitch Mobs, Drink the Sea, and some Russian shit that I listened to 30 minutes ago and can't remember the name of. Here it is. Kolostom by Slaughter to Prevail. Yeah, that. Alrighty, so, Neutral Milk Hotel. So this album is, maybe, I don't think I've talked about anything that sounds like this on the podcast to my knowledge. It's very much just kind of acoustic, folky kind of music, and this is the only thing like that I'm into. So I'll explain myself. So back in high school, when I only listened to metalcore and Deadmau5 and Skrillex, I decided that I needed to expand my musical horizons, and I was a frequent browser of 4chan at the time.
God.
So I went on their music board and was greeted by a strange man with a potato for a head that told me, "Welcome to Moo, now get out." And I did not listen to him, and I stuck around and lurked for quite some time. And just kind of saw what kind of albums Moo was recommending at the time, which was Death Grips, Neutral Milk Hotel, Animal Collective, a few others that I can't remember, and I listened to all that shit. So Neutral Milk Hotel kind of was part of the bands and albums that I was listening to at the time that would mark my journey into expanding my musical horizon, so to speak. So thoughts on this album? Front to back, I think that this is really good, even though it is kind of memed a little bit. I love you, Jesus Christ. Semen stains the mountaintops. The album's been memed to death. Is it a potato? Is it a drum? What is it? But in all seriousness, I think this album's really good, even though I think it's about Anne Frank or something. I'm not entirely sure. I don't think that there's a single song on this I hate. It's good. Yeah.
This was weird. I said, what the fuck was this? Not because it was bad, but because what the fuck, Mike? You don't listen to this shit.
I know.
This is not you. Who are you and what have you done with my best friend? But I really like this. This seems like something I would listen to more than you would, Mike.
Yeah, maybe.
But it good. I like it a lot.
Like I said, this is the only thing that sounds even remotely like this that I listen to and enjoy.
Yeah, me picks a Scald album, Mike. Ugh, what the fuck is this? Viking chanting with folk instruments? Ugh, I hate it. Also, Mike, this is pretty good. Have a listen.
Yeah, it's not something that I have listened to. But it wasn't bad. It was good. It was definitely a little. It's also not the weirdest thing I've listened to. Passenger of Shit is still a fucking thing, but
Yeah, I'm
It's
glad you enjoyed that.
yeah. Oh yeah, I love weird shit. So hearing this was a lot of fun.
It is pretty weird.
Yes, it is. For some reason though, like I don't know why, this album does not sound to me like it came out in 1998. For some reason in my brain, this album is centered in 2004 and you can't convince me otherwise.
Yeah, like it's aged pretty well. It doesn't sound as old as it is.
No, when I saw it was from 98 and then listened to it and then looked at it, I was like, there's no fucking way this isn't like a remaster or something else, because this sounds way better
Like,
than
Stallman
other
agrees
songs.
with you.
yeah, like this sounds like it, like minimum it came out of like the 2000s, not the 90s. But yeah, it was really good. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So, whoever would like to go next?
I would talk about mine. So continuing on my kick of electronic music, this was the first electronic album I ever listened to in its entirety, and it started in kind of a strange way. So my buddy Evelyn, you went to school with her, but she was even in grades lower than I was, so I don't think you ever met her, Mike.
Yeah, probably not.
Evelyn Elisaga.
No idea
But
who that is.
yeah, figured as much. But anyways, super cool chick. She would constantly find new music, and she always thought of her friends when she found it, and would be like, "Ooh, I think you'd like this." And at the time, I was super into not not completely electronic, but I was listening to a lot of instrumental stuff. Like that was when I first got into Lindsey Sterling, which I guess that would actually technically be my first electronic band, if you count that. I count it more as classical music, but neither here nor there. She listened to a little bit of Lindsey Sterling, and she was like, "Ooh, I have a band you'll probably like. You should check them out. All they do is instrumental stuff." At the time, none of us really knew what drum and bass was. It was just kind of a brand new thing that had just really started to gain traction. So I listened to Fortune Days, fell in love with it, and then listened to the entire album back to back, and I love it.
So I have notes for this, but to sum it up, I didn't really like this a whole lot. Um, I feel like I was listening to this in the background while I worked, mostly. And I feel like this works as like background music, but I just wasn't really into it. It wasn't really exciting. I guess some of the songs maybe blended together a little bit to me. I just wasn't really into it.
Dang, that's low-key depressing. I thought you would like this.
Well, so I'm very much more in the Steven camp because this was actually my like first like electronic album that wasn't just like Swedish House Mafia or Skrillex or like the mainstream electronic artists that I'd heard of on the radio. This was the first like artist that I started to listen to. This is the artist that got me into what I consider glitch. This was the first like introduction I had into it, and from here I was like, okay, well now I need fucking more of this, and that's where I found my love for just weird electronic music. And I shouldn't say that this is the be all end all of weird electronic, but for me, this was the perfect like starting point, at least for me when it came out.
That's where I'm at with it too.
Yeah. There was I'm not as big of a fan as I was when I first heard it, but I still appreciate it for where it brought me. Because I don't know if they did this on purpose, but some of the songs sounded a little bit like almost they recorded the audio like using like a phone like set outside of a speaker. Like I can't remember what fucking song. There was like the second or third song. It's the everything sounded like a little like kind of muffled. So I was like, what the fuck is wrong? I thought something was wrong with my headphones. So I went to like Dance Gavin Dance. I was like, okay, I need to hear actual instruments real quick to make sure I'm not fucking going crazy here. I just think there was something wrong with their production on this album.
Well, it was their debut album.
It was technically their debut album. They were only doing mixing up till now, or like DJ shows. This was their first actual release.
Yeah.
And they did get better, but I still enjoyed it. I still enjoy it. I still like this kind of electronic in general. So
Yeah, this is basically what launched me into electronic music as a whole.
yeah,
I guess you and I have more attachment to it to Mike, and that's probably why we look at it sort of through rose-colored glasses.
yeah, a
But
little bit. I had to like force myself not to, because I listened to this album twice. I listened to it first time and I was like, oh man, I love this album. And then I got to the end, I was like, did I like that as much as I remember liking it? And then I was like, I have to listen to this again just so I like think about it more.
yeah, because it is a great album,
I
but
still like.
it's very much a dated album at this point.
Yeah, I could definitely feel it is definitely a product of its time. You can definitely understand. You can if I told you that this came out in 2010, people would be like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense."
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. But that's why I like it.
yeah.
So
Well, I guess that leaves my album.
Angry Cheeky
I
Break.
yeah, Slaughtered to Prevail. I don't really know how to say it, so Kostolam. I don't know. Um, basically Russian deathcore. um, I found these guys mostly through Demolisher. That song blew up on YouTube thanks to the lead singer's like how he sings Demolisher, because funny when he sings Demolisher live, he does the the Demolisher part where he screams that. He does that without a mic, and people are like, you can fucking feel it. So like that track really blew up, and that's how I found them. But I don't know, there's just something about their sound that is captivating to me. Not as much as Lorna Shore, but I still love the like vocal layering that this guy does, and also just the drummer in this fucking band is ridiculous. If you look up, I think Alex the Terrible on YouTube, he posts some drum along or like drum throughs of some of their songs. It's fucking insane. Um, I love it. So
Yeah. I was into this. This fucking shreds. I'm into the masks that they wear.
yes,
When
I
I
love
was
it.
looking up the bands, I thought the masks were really cool. Um, I guess the only thing that really bothers me about them is that like some of the lyrics are like sort of broken English, but it's forgiven because
Yeah,
they're like Russian. So
they're like really Russian. Yeah,
it's totally fine. I can forgive them for that.
yeah.
But other than that, like I'm really into this, and I only listened to like maybe 3 or 4 songs before we started. So I may go back and listen to the rest when I have time because I like this a lot.
Yeah, Demolisher and Baba Yaga are pretty good in my opinion.
this shit fucking rips.
Yeah,
I like this a lot. I like pretty much every song off this album. It's solid. I mean, it's really all I have to say about it. Like, it's a good album.
yeah, fair.
Alrighty. Well, I think that does it for albums. I don't think I have a vinyl update. Though I will say, I did go to the record store over the weekend and saw that they had a deluxe edition of Kanye West's 808 and Heartbreaks that I almost bought, but it was $45, and I was a good boy and did not spend money on records, even though I wanted to. They also had volumes 3 and 4 of MF Doom's instrumental album, which I also wanted to buy, but did not. Because I have my eye set on another album that I'm trying to buy that I'm going to have to order off of Discogs at some point. So I'll get back to you on what that is, but I will be buying records eventually. Though looking at looking at my shelf, I really need another one because now I'm putting things in front of things and I'm running out of room. So actually, for realsies this time, I don't have much room for more records. So I'm sure if I buy something anytime soon after saying I'm just gonna go in to look. I'll find room.
Yeah,
See,
that's fair.
that's what happens to me whenever I go into the vape shop. I don't intend to buy anything new, and I always walk out with a new piece or a new glass piece for perfectly legal activities.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
see, that's why I don't go into those shops as much anymore because I will do that. And I bought a piece not that long ago that was like 200 plus, and I was like, okay, this is the last one for a while.
See, I
Uh,
keep telling myself that, and then I always wind up getting new pieces.
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, um, so I guess real quick before we pick albums, fun story that happened to me roughly 2 hours ago. So I've had chronic nosebleeds since like 2015, and the doctor that I was seeing for it before I moved to Utah would chemically cauterize my nose every once in a while. So they have like a stick with some kind of chemical. It looks like a matchstick, and you just put it on your nose, and it burns real bad. And it's like, alrighty, hopefully that fixes it. It never did. Um, but now that I've moved to Utah, I needed to find another doctor for that shit. So I had my appointment today, and he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna have this is really bad. We're gonna have to electrically cauterize it, which will hopefully do it." And I'm like, "Oh no, I don't like that. Uh-oh." So basically what this involves was he had to numb my nose, so he had to inject me like 3 times, and that sucked. And then he brought out what was basically a tiny electric poker, and he had to slap this like metal electrode thing on my back, and he zapped the shit out of the inside of my nose, and it wasn't fun. But hopefully that fixed it. The numbing stuff is just now starting to finally wear off. But we'll see if my nose is done bleeding for realsies in the coming weeks. Because this was happening daily.
Oh boy, that's not what you want.
Did they turn my nose into a pair of stacks? Almost.
Lol.
Your nose is now a shit stack.
Anyway, albums for next time.
Yeah.
I'm trying to decide between two. But I think I'm gonna go with my second option. So I'm picking Geo Gotti by Boards of Canada. Which out of Boards of Canada's entire discography, this one is probably the most unsettling in my opinion, because one of the songs was the in credits theme for Sinister. If you remember that movie,
Huh.
This will be good. Do we want to go with more electronic or branch out and do something new?
I mean
we could do.
that's what I'm doing, but it's up to you.
You could do something different because I'm probably gonna do electronic, or you could keep electronic because I'm probably picking Venetian snares. I just don't know which one.
Let me go to my playlist here. I'm gonna find an album I like. Yeah, I could torture y'all and pick country.
Oh no, please,
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 please no.
please.
Y'all want to listen to Garth Brooks?
No, absolutely not.
All right. You forced my hand. Jimmy Buffett.
Arguably worse.
That's actually worse.
All right,
So much worse.
Rodney Atkins.
Just stop talking.
Person I don't know that's still country, unless you're saying so. No.
All right. No. All realistically, I've been listening to a lot of indie. So we are going to listen to Summer is Like a Dream by Kai Dreams.
What the fuck is this?
Okay, I'm gonna go with Venetian Snares.
This
the
is a
Chocolate Wheelchair album.
This is a 12-minute and 30-second album.
Woo!
Interesting.
Picked one shorter than mine, than Lorna Shore's.
It's either that or actually no. You know what? That one you're right, Mike. Too short. Too short.
Damn it.
We need something a little longer.
Damn it, Mike.
Uh-oh.
Oh God.
Why did you say uh-oh, Mike?
Uh-oh.
Why did you say uh-oh?
That depends on what you say next.
I could bite the bullet myself and just pick something that I know for a fact I hate. God, I don't want to do that. I could absolutely do it for the memes though. No, I'm not picking swans.
That's my job.
But then again, it is tempting.
I've got one on the back burner for you.
Oh my god.
I hate you so much. We will listen to Now and Then by Kai Dreams, which is a little longer, I think.
It
It is 17 minutes.
is slightly longer. It'll do.
Wow, 100.
I've been listening to a lot of Kai Dreams lately. He's like indie, and I fucks with it. It's
This-
very, very chill. Mike, you probably will not like this because there's not much going on. This is more of a lyrical style than anything.
Uh-huh.
I'm just so confused because the first song has 136 million plays, and the next after that is only 5 million.
So Stallman, my next Swans pick for Steven is probably going to be Soundtracks for the Blind or Public Castration is a Good Idea. One of those.
If you pick a Swans album this week, I'm changing immediately, and I already know what album I'm picking for when you do inevitably pick Swans, because if I'm suffering, you're all suffering with me.
Well, lucky for you, I'm not doing this week. I'm saving it for a special occasion.
Oh
that.
boy.
I lied. We're gonna listen to more electronic because I haven't fucking talked about them yet. We're listening to Together Through Time by Tupperware Remix Party.
Okay.
Oh, I'm aware of this, and I've heard the album is good, but I've not heard anything from this band at all.
God, I forgot about them. Hell yeah, we're listening to that.
What is it called?
Together Through Time by Tupperware Remix Party.
What the fuck?
This is technically electronic. It's synth.
You said technically.
Yeah, well, it's synth. But this is a god tier album and probably in my top 3 albums within the past 10 years.
Oh, Protoman has a feature on this.
Yes, they do, and it's Phantom Racer. It also has Aaron Hansen on it.
Oh,
Dan Avidan's also on there.
Oh, gross. I have it. I have a slight disdain for Game Grumps nowadays for various reasons that I will not get into.
But okay.
I am genuinely curious, but another time,
no, I know.
perhaps.
Yeah, another time because I love them. So okay.
Perhaps after we end the actual podcast, we can talk about it.
I'll give you the TLDR. If I can find the subreddit,
Oh no! Don't. Oh wait, Aaron, not Dan. Interesting.
About Aaron, not Dan.
About Aaron, not Dan. What the fuck happened to Aaron? Okay.
TLDR, Aaron Hansen is kind of scummy sometimes.
Oh well, yeah, he used to be a huge dickbag, but he's been doing better to better himself as a person. So I've kind of.
I was gonna say back in the Newgrounds days, he was very much that like edgy. I have to be edgy to be funny kind of person.
Yeah, he was a very shitty person.
Same as fucking like I love a lot of used to love a lot of Newgrounds animators, but sometimes they can be really really shitty people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I don't know what it is about Newgrounds, but
oh yeah, this album's gonna be good. And if a single one of you doesn't like this album, I'm burning down your fucking house because I know y'all should.
All right, I'm going to just because you said that, intentionally force myself to despise this album, just so I can yell at you.
You will not manage to, but go ahead, try.
I'm going to try
no,
very hard.
I genuinely want you to find something you don't like about this album. At least one thing.
Oh no, failed step one.
Oh,
The
no.
last two songs. I'm looking at the track list, and track 13 is called Maximum Thrust. The following song is called Feels Pretty Good.
What about the one up from it? Tactile Sensation.
This is just this album. This album fucking slaps. Like the whole album is god tier. But I will rant about that next episode because I could literally break down this entire album and why it fucks.
How did you feel about the album that I picked? Nero's Day at Disneyland.
I did not hate it.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Yeah,
Then never-
same. I
okay,
also did not hate it.
Okay.
Alrighty. Well, now that we got the album situation decided upon, I got dinner ready, so I'm gonna go eat.
I
I'll catch you guys next
Peace.
time.